In this video, we'll be learning how to integrate the sum of two functions, as well as how to integrate a function which is being multiplied by some number. Now, to begin with, at the top of this page, we can see that we're being reminded of the formula. And the first formula is telling us that the integral of the sum of two functions f of x and g of x equals to the integral of f of x added to the integral of g of x. Now, let's see how we can use this. For instance, let's say we're asked to integrate the following: the integral of the sum of x squared plus x to the power of 5 dx. Now, what this formula is telling us is that we can split this integral into two separate integrals, meaning we can write that this equals to the integral of x squared dx plus the integral of x to the power of 5. And now that we've done this, we can use the power rule for integration to integrate. And we go ahead, this equals to 1 over 2 plus 1 times x to the power of 2 plus 1 plus 1 over 5 plus 1 times x to the power of 5 plus 1. And all of this is added to a constant of integration. We carry on. This leads us to 1/3 times x to the power of 3 plus 1/6 of x to the power of 6, still adding c. And we tend to always write this as x to the power of 3 over 3 plus x to the power of 6 over 6 plus the constant of integration. And there you go, that's our final answer. The integral of the sum of x squared and x to the power of 5 equals to x cubed over 3 plus x to the power of 6 over 6 plus c. Now, the second rule that we see here at the top tells us that the integral of a times f of x equals to a times the integral of f of x. Now, all this is really saying is that if we have a function which is being multiplied by a number, we can choose to take that number outside of the integral if we wish to. Now, let's see how this may work with a quick example. Let's say we're asked to integrate 6x squared. Now, what this formula is telling us is that we can rewrite this integral by taking the 6 outside, meaning to say we can write that this equals to 6 times the integral of x squared dx. Now, when we're dealing with powers of numbers, this may not seem very useful, but we'll see in our further studies of integration that this will often be very useful. So, carrying on with this, we can now use the power rule for integration to integrate x squared, which leads us to the following. This equals to 6 times 1 over 2 plus 1 times x to the power of 2 plus 1 plus some constant of integration, which equals to 6 times 1/3 times x to the power of 3 plus c. This leads us to 6 over 3 times x to the power of 3 plus c, and finally we can state our final answer, which is this equals to 2x to the power of 3 plus c. And there you go. This is what these two rather cumbersome and complicated formulae are telling us. In fact, these are quite simple results.